Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another Flesh and Blood Team League stream brought to you by the Combat Chain. I'm Adam Philipchuk. This is Pat Shaw, and we've got a huge match for you guys today. This is the do we call this the championship match, Pat?
This
This
is
is
it,
like
man. This is it. This is for all the marbles. Let's be clear on what the marbles are here. The winner of this gets promoted to D1, which is a big deal. D1 is the big dogs. Galaxy Gaming and West Coast Best Coast want to both make names for themselves, and you do that by playing the best teams in the world, and that's the Hyperloops, the Card Guys, Team Ascent. Those are the people that you want to be facing, and this is the game that takes you there. So it's 2-2. This is what this is what sports is made of right here. This is it's championship material. We have two opposing forces. We have a bunch of unknowns going into this match. There's a lot at stake, and a lot riding on there, a lot of pressure on the players, but it's exciting. It's exciting. Everyone loves. It's a best of 3 series. It's tied 2-2. You can't ask for anything more. Let's go.
Let's go. I am excited for this one. So, of course, we've got West Coast, Best Coast taking on Galaxy Gaming for all the marbles. West Coast, Best
hmm
Coast is Nathan Fortin taking on Elijah Calub from Galaxy Gaming. And why don't you tell us a little more about the matchup there, Pat?
Right. Elijah Caleb versus Nathan Fortin. Let's take a look at the individual players here. Nathan Fortin 3-1 on the season, and every game he's played this season has been on Prism. Elijah Caleb, on the other hand, 2-2 on the season, and he has been able to play between Chain, Starvo, and Viscerai. Starvo once, Chain twice, and once on Viscerai. Now, we know that given the results of the series thus far, that and the rules of the competition, we can't repeat heroes. So we do know, because of the previous matches played in this series, that both Starvo, Prism, and Chain are not eligible to be selected heroes in this game. So we are basically guaranteed an off-meta game to decide all the things here. And the other two heroes that have been played is Oldham for Galaxy Gaming, so Oldham won't be on the Galaxy side, and Viscerai on West Coast Best Coast will not be eligible to be played as well. Um, we do know that. So we talked about the series thus far. The series is tied 2-2. Let's talk a little bit about how we got there in the first place. Let's start with game one. We had Yuki Lee Bender versus Noah Cagle, Prism versus Starvo, with Yuki taking that one. And what has become a pretty prototypical Prism versus Starvo matchup. Lots of Starvo starting early with the reveals and getting some on hits early, but a Prism eventually taking those hits, eventually rebounding, accumulating value over a large board state, and eventually overwhelming Starvo, leading Yuki to victory. We know going into game two, Calvin Holt of Galaxy Gaming versus Donghee Kim, same matchup, different teams. West Coast, Best Coast on Starvo, and Galaxy Gaming on Prism, and the matchup played about the same, just like the teams reversed. Starvo coming in early, Prism eventually overwhelming and taking the lead from there. Game three, Adam, what can you tell me about game three between Joe Santillana and Colin Honigman?
Uh, that was a Viscerai into Oldhim matchup. Colin was on Viscerai. Joe was on, yeah, Oldhim. And I know it was a really tight matchup. We unfortunately did not get to get the broadcast on that one, just due to some scheduling conflicts. And
Mm-hmm.
And I do know from the highlights that it was a very close match. The Oldham going all the way down to 3 life, with Viserai trying to just set up pitch stacks to win the game, but ultimately the Oldham ended up taking it on a dominated Macho Grande, and that's how,
Nice.
yeah, just a good old
Not
dominated,
nice, yes, nice, but
just might.
I
And
have a particular affinity to Macho Grande because, as we know, it has my picture on the card. But
right.
uh, so we do know that Nathan Fortin's going up against Elijah Calub. Nathan Fortin is on your team. What can you tell us about his possible hero choices here without Prism? Does Nathan have an affinity to any other heroes that is likely to be played here?
Nathan is Nathan. I mean, the guy's a Prism player through and through, but he does have some experience on Guardian as well. And I mean,
Do you think an OG Bravo appearance might be coming through?
I mean,
I can't spell the secret sauce quite yet.
exactly. You're asking the tough questions here, Pat, and
Yeah,
I just
fair
can't give
enough.
the
Fair
answers.
enough.
But you know what? The players are just loading in right now. So why
Well,
don't
we
we?
can see if we can find the answers by looking.
Yeah, I'm gonna take you guys down to the game view, and players are just loading up right now. And here we have,
Mm,
just to orientate the viewers a bit as well. So we do have Nathan on the right in blue, and it'll be Elijah on the left in red.
mm, mm, mm. 1 second here. I think I'm having.
I can hear you. I can. All right, and we have our heroes revealed here. And
Hey, we're back, and we have. Look at this. So we have Nathan Fortin not on OG Bravo, but in Oldham appearance, Grandfather of Eternity, coming up against Elijah Calub on Dash. Adam, what do you think about this particular matchup here?
honestly, this is a tough one to spec on because Dash has
Hmm.
been not really relevant in our current meta. But Dash in traditionally has had a decent matchup into Guardian, being able to go wide and being able to just kind of really play around uh, the Guardian's ability to block. Guardians being a little bit better at blocking big, tall attacks versus wide attacks. But with that
Yep.
being said, um, we haven't seen much Dash since Tails and moving into our current meta. So
Yeah.
one thing to be of note here is if Nathan does have Rampart on his side, he will, that does buy him a little bit of extra block because Dash does break the combat chain quite
Yep.
a bit,
Very
especially if
true. Very
the
true.
Dash is going to play, if Elijah is going to play into the pistols plan. Um, Oldham, though, I think is a little better at blocking wide decks, though, than his other Guardian counterparts. So we'll see.
And we do have Oldham is collateral damage in the Starvo meta here, losing the Autumn's Touches and Awakening, same as Starvo, right? Those cards are suspended or banned, respectively, until suspended until Starvo hits Living Legend, or banned outright in the case of Awakening. But those were still very important parts of Oldham's plan that he will not have access to anymore. So Awakening really enabling the Guardian pivot out of nowhere against a tempo plan here. So really having to rely solely on his defense reactions and ability to stay healthy here. And like you had mentioned, Oldham, real good at blocking tall attacks here. But Dash, of course, once she assembles Exodia, so to speak, with the induction chambers and plasma purifiers, could really repeatedly attack at with awkward numbers and awkward angles. And we've seen Oldham have trouble with that in Blitz with the likes of Kasai, for instance. So it'll be interesting to see how this this match rolls out here.
Yeah,
We
certainly. So we
do
see
see
the
the
roll off.
players. Yep,
The
we
roll
sure
off
do.
there. Nathan looks like he wins. So do you think Nathan chooses to go first here?
I
Well,
that's a
he's already
very good
loaded two, Nick,
question.
so we already know he chooses to go
Yeah,
first.
that's very true. Yep. And we do see a Frosty Hammer coming. Yep. Frosty Hammer's thinking about it. He's gonna overpitch into the Frosty Hammer. Looks like a red Sink Below, and then Ice Quake and or Polar Blast coming in for 4 Frosty. Heaves a Thunderquake into his arsenal, creating 3 Seismic Surge tokens, and it looks like he'll pass the turn after that. Layering pitch. And you do see the Sink Below. I believe that is a blue staunch as well, going into the bottom of his deck. Draws up, going to Elijah. He does start the game with the induction chamber on the board. That is the item that gives the Tecloplasma pistol go again. We see him pitch a Teclo Pounder and putting the
So
steam counters on his weapon, floating 1, and we see the pistol for 2. And the Rampart coming in, blocking for 1. Pistol comes through for 1. Elijah breaks the chain to reacts and gives that go again. And I believe he'll break the chain to put a steam counter on the pistol. And we're talking about the Rampart, and there's the Plasma Purifier coming out on Dash's side. So, of course, Rampart of the Ram's Head is can increasingly grow as Dash obviously breaks the combat chain to subsequently reload all those steam counters, and that only builds the value of the Rampart. And we do
that is
see the Thunderquake coming in, pitching 2 blues, taking those Seismic Surge tokens. I think that blue Thunderquake, is that coming in for 8?
that's a blue for 8, and that takes 2 cards out of Elijah's hand.
Yeah, it
Mind you.
does. If he's on that more control-y build of Dash, that shouldn't be the end of the world. He really just wants to keep a blue or 2 in hand, right? Defend well with 2 or 3 cards, have enough in his hand to pitch, and let the double Plasma Purifier in the induction chamber. This is going to get out of hand pretty quick. Talked about Oldham's vulnerability over multiple attacks at awkward angles, and double plasma purifier and induction chamber is certainly one way to do that. And we see, oh boy, there is a Terra Sunder coming on, and then an Oakenol. It doesn't look like it's fused, but it's still coming in for 8 dominate on hit, discard 2 cards, I believe, is Terra Sunder.
That's correct. So this is a DIY crippling crush of sorts.
Oh, we see an Arsenal move and an unmovable from Arsenal. Dash historically has had a great matchup into OG Bravo for particularly this reason. A single tall attack. Dash likes to side in those defensive reactions. She'll have unmovables of both red and yellow in some cases. Dash's turn, we see the Goliath Gauntlet come out and a red throttle, I believe, for 8 getting the +2. Pitching a Spark of Genius. I see no boost though, so it doesn't look like he's looking for the go again. Chat noticing the early purifiers as well. Yeah, absolutely. It'll definitely be interesting. It does, for all those items, it does cost, it costs something to reload those things. So it does, there's a card investment involved with loading everything up and firing them off. But once they're going, it is tough to handle. And we see Dash hitting with the 8 and arsenaling a card and passing over back to Oldham. We see an E-Strike from Oldham, presumably for the go again. Did not draw a card. Adam, it seems like Oldham has gone away from the super aggressive builds that were popular in the Tails meta. We do see that E-Strike there, but there was a time there where that Snapdragon Scalers was very very popular over there. But it does seem like they've gone away from things like that.
Yeah, they're a little more of a, mind you, even aggro Oldham is still able to control and block out quite a bit of damage. They've gone more of a more mid-rangey, and
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
and I believe this Oakenold off the Enlightened Strike, we have an Oakenold Fuse, so 9 dominate. Looks
Yep.
like this hit's gonna get through, and 2 cards are being forced to the bottom of Elijah's deck.
Yep, and that he did fuse with a Pulse of Eisenloft, which I believe is now in Arsenal. He had no other cards in hand. And we see the pistol firing off. I believe this is for 2. He did not take a steam counter off the purifier. Oldham thinking about his move on the defensive here.
I was having a conversation with Nathan before this game, and Nathan was making a joke about how apparently I say thinking long and hard quite a bit, and it's becoming one of my coined terms apparently.
It sure is. It is your catchphrase. That's right. Everyone's got to have one. Yours is 100% thinking long and hard.
Thinking long and hard.
And we see a crown activation with the tunic. So there's one prevention floating there. Oldham with the crown is very easy to block 2 initially if you're pitching prevent 1 and then the rampart. It does take away a full basic pistol for 2 at that point. Oldham does have the 5-card hand. And a Command and Conquer coming in for 6, no defense reaction. So if that's an unmovable in Arsenal, Dash is SOL.
And I mean, with what we've seen so far, chances are that's what's in Arsenal, some sort of D-react. So
Yeah, I would venture to say that it is. I believe it's one of the only things Dash likes to Arsenal is that defensive reaction in there. Dash isn't known for its potent attack action 5-card hands, unless we started the game with a Teklo Pounder, but we did not. So good bet that is an unmovable in there that cannot be used. But again, this is, so there's, it's coming in for 6. There's nothing else going on right here. He does have a large hand. I haven't seen any indications of a pummel yet. So until there is one, does Dash have to respect it? Does it matter? It's probably a safe 6 block, 2 cards from hand, and keeping 2 cards for your resource pitching to load up your steam counters here and start firing off what would be a 4-attack pistol multiple times.
yeah, and that's what Nathan's already staring down. 4 attack pistols. If he cannot keep this pressure up.
Yeah, those early purifiers that is a real thing. That is kind of joked about Exodia, but he's just about there. He may even have just those 2, but they're both out there. Likelihood of a third one is probably high. In another induction chamber, the likelihood of that seeing play now is very much increased. And here we go. We see the pummel coming from Oldham, turning that into from a 6 to a 10 and discarding a card, losing the Arsenal. And is that a Fate Foreseen? I
It was
believe
a
was in
fate
the
foreseen
Arsenal.
from hand, I thought, and a throttle from Arsenal.
Throttle from Arsenal.
But here we see Elijah's just going to play out an induction chamber and pass the turn. He's probably almost happy to take that damage. He's one step closer to the full puzzle.
Yeah. Yeah, so now if he's got the steam counters, if he has the steam counters on everything, plasma purifiers each give +1, and both in each induction chamber enables a go again here. So he can fire, in a vacuum, he can fire 3 times for 4 each for 12 damage a turn. It's that consistency that makes Dash really dangerous here. That
Nathan,
being said, the life totals are still, Oldham's at 30, Dash is at 17. Life is a resource, but as that damage leaks through by Oldham, it becomes more and more important that Dash start figuratively and literally pulling the trigger.
ooh,
And we see Earthlore Surge given his next attack +3, and followed that up with a Spinal Crush base 9 coming in for 12. No dominate, but crush effect. 4 or more if it is 4 or more damage is dealt. You lose and cannot gain go again. Super important to Dash, who goes right ahead and blocks takes 2 cards out of hand and 2 pieces of armor.
yeah,
Coming in
blocks
for
for
block.
10, taking
Yep.
3, so no crush effect.
Yep. I believe he's taking, I think he took 2, right? I think it was at 12, blocking 10.
Chat liking that one there, Earthlore Spinal. Yeah.
Earthlore Spinal. Only available in Oldham unless you're Starvo. And we see the pitch loading up the steam counters. Now we're talking here.
Here we
We
go.
see the 2 steam counters taking off the plasma purifiers. Pistol now fires for 4.
It's a spicy pistol.
But he does, right? It is expensive to fire off here, so he pitches 1 to load the purifier, takes the steam counter off, fires the pistol for 4. We await Oldham's response, but the induction chamber is an attack reaction. So if we don't see a block, it will soon see a steam counter be removed from the first induction chamber to indicate the pistol getting go again. I know you want to say it. Go ahead. What's he doing?
I'm not quite certain what's happening here. Yeah.
Oldham is definitely contemplating his move here. Looks like the cursors are moving around, and uh, in person they're talking with their hands, but it just comes across as just opposing pointy fingers trying to poke each other.
I always imagine they're angry and arguing at each other.
Yeah, right. Just old, like old people, just fingers wagging, and it's just what it looks like. Fingers are certainly wagging here. I'm curious to know what they're talking about.
I do wonder if Nathan's thinking about an Oldham defense reaction. Earth at this point, preventing 2 damage, or something of the likes. Just
Mm-hmm.
anything to try to weather the storm that's coming.
Usually, when there's a stop, I wonder if there's a rules question. Tough to see without going in there, but when the action stops like that, usually it's because there is a something to consider.
I don't see any judge calls at this time.
Do you see Oldham shuffling his hand now? Pistol swinging for 4. There is a steam counter loaded up on the purifier, but that is from the additional pitch after the steam counter was removed. So Dash still has 2 floating. And he can't do everything with the 2 resources. So he'll be able to, and we see a sink below coming from Oldham after some considerable thought. Induction chamber is a reaction, giving it go again, and then it looks like removing steam counters, putting steam counters on, firing pistols. I believe he fired one more after that, or no, it looked like 2 more. He's down to 22. I think they just shortcut it a little bit, and we see the Macho Grande blue, I believe, coming in for 8. I think that is dominated, and there you
8
can see a very
dominant.
clear picture uh, of me flexing on top of a stage, and that is being blocked by the zipper hit.
Blocked for 3. Oh, and the sink
Oh,
below from Arsenal.
very nice. And he chooses to. He's spinning the card. Does he want to? He's taunting it. Will I? Won't I? And
I
he
think there
will.
was some
He
lag
will
issue
sink a
there. The
card.
ping did jump
You
up
see the
there.
ping spike a little bit. Yep. So blocking 7, taking 1. Oldham ends the turn, draws up. He's got 4 cards in hand. No arsenal. Dash is up. got to pitch low, put the steam counters on before he does much of anything else. He does double pitch. Loading all the steam counters on everything. Floating 2. And we see purifier number 1, purifier number 2. Your pistol's now firing for 4. Steam counter removed from the pistol, coming in for 4. Hold him at 22.
That life gap is quickly narrowing.
Man, it's the consistency, right? So every attack now, assuming he's got the cards, Oldham's gonna have to weigh that, awkward breakpoint. He does not have a card in Arsenal, so he won't be eligible to crown here. So he's gotta figure out what he's got in hand, and potentially pivot. But we know that's, we were just talking about how Dash is pretty good about stopping those tall attacks. So this is going to be a tough spot here. Oldham's got to find a way to stop that consistent bombardment from that firing pistol. And we see the Rampart coming out. Blue Staunch being pitched, floating 2. We do have the 1 block, the reaction from the induction chamber to give go again. Let's see if Oldham responds with a defensive reaction or if he's just going to take 3.
Looks like he's going to take 3 here.
Yep, takes 3, goes to 19. We see the shortcut. The dice lowers to show that the resource was spent to put a steam counter on the pistol. It's firing for 4. Rampart resource was used, so it blocks for 2. That's why he's taking 2. Go again, rinse, repeat, taking 1.
And this is what I'm talking about, though. Like, if there's anything that is going to make this match easier for Oldham, it's going to be that the Rampart. Like, the fact that by the third pistol shot, he's blocking for 3 and only taking 1. 3 blocks with 1 card out of hand. That's pretty good.
That is, and the Rampart is definitely an advantage there, but it is a card removed from hand. When he does that, and depending on where he is, in the game, that can prove costly. And we see the Command and Conquer blocked for 6 straight up, no pummel. Following that up, so it still takes 2 cards out of Dash's hands. We see on the Dash turn pitching a blue floating 1 to load steam counter on the pistol. And we're going to come in with a red rotary ram. That makes your next attack come in for 3.
Well, I don't want to zoom in on that for the folks at home.
And then we have, so rotary ram, next acknowledged attack. You play this turn, gets +3. If you've boosted this turn, put rotary ram on the bottom of your deck. And he followed that up with a red throttle boosting. So throttle coming in for 9. With go again, but no resources floating, so we can fire the pistol once. So I think this is the way Oldham gets back. Oldham needs to hit hard enough where Dash does not have enough resources to load all the steam counters, right? There's so many things going on here. So if there's no steam counters, it costs 5 to load everything up here. So Dash is going to have to consider whether or not she wants to go wide or tall here if she doesn't have a full grip. So that, it is a whole lot different shooting for 2 3 times than it is shooting for 4 3 times. And 6 damage total is a lot more palatable for Oldham to take and then pivot with a big attack.
See the Crown of Seeds activation here.
Yep, floating 2, getting the card in hand. Throttle still on the table. 8 at the minimum here right now. Or 50% of Oldham's life total right now. So we do have a blue staunch coming in, plus the crown. Still taking 3, and then the pistol comes in for 2. Looks like he's saying, I boosted, it has go again. This is why I can shoot with the pistol. Dash wraps up the turn. We see Oldham up, taking the tunic up, and we see a Terra Sunder pitching a blue and coming in with a Frosty Hammer for 5. Dominate, on hit, discard 2, create a Frostbite. And unless he has, Dash needs
an unmovable, I think.
Yeah, or simple. He needs
Well,
a
he does.
defense reaction,
He
and
does
I
have
believe
one
he's got
block on
one
Teklo
block
still.
on Teklo. But we have the unmovable. And Elijah starts the turn. He's got the 2 cards in hand. So he does pitch. And is that a yellow? Yep. Yellow throttles pitched, putting a steam counter on the plasma pistol and an induction chamber. So only coming in for 2. I think this is exactly what Oldham wants here, right? He's got those. He's got the ability to get those on hits that remove cards from hand, that forces Dash to block, and I think this is. I think we're watching Oldham successfully pivot. Now he does need to follow up with those. He needs to keep up the aggression, so to speak. With give me a fused Oakenold or another Terra Sunder. We saw 2 already, but he needs to keep the cards out of Elijah's hands so that he cannot load the steam counters onto the items.
And here we see the Tekla pistol followed up by a yellow 0 to 60. So this is coming in for 3. No boost here.
Yep, Elijah out of cards, out of resources, could potentially activate the Teklo Foundry if he boosted, but he has chosen not to.
And he would need a resource to pay into it, I believe.
Is it a 1? Yep.
Yeah, it's a 1 cost. And Nathan going down to 6 here.
Going to 6. Taking 3. Keeping a 4-card hand. Tunic is online. Thinking about his next move here, it is extremely important for him. Dash is at 14, which is a pretty sizable amount at this state in the game. Oldham really needs to come through here with something big enough to warrant losing the hand. And I don't know if that he's got 1 float. If that's a pummel in hand as well, that's a better. And I think Dash has to respect that now. So it'll be interesting to see how this goes. If Elijah's bold, he takes 6. And really, I mean, if we're pummeling, that's still 9 and a card. but better than perhaps blocking 6 with 2 cards and then losing a card on top of it.
Elijah thinking long and hard about his block right now.
There he is. And he is, and this is an important one, right? This is if he keeps enough cards in hand, everything gets loaded up, and he's coming across the bow here for 12.
And we're going to see the rotary ram thrown at this.
And
And
there's
there it
2
is.
resources and a pummel.
And
And we see the
Elijah not even
discard.
wasting any time. He's just like,
Yeah,
yep.
yeah. I think why that rotary rims are red. That's not steam counter loading material right there, which I think why it was an easy block for him.
Yeah. Because if he's got 2 blues in hand still, like this is still a punishing turn for Nathan.
Mm-hmm. But not loading up the plasma purifiers. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know if he's got it.
And something of note here that Nathan still has full equipment as well.
That's right, he does. He's got 5 block on the table plus the crown. So ready to go with at least 6 if needed with the Rampart 7.
And Chad asking if Elijah discarded a card. Yes, he did. He was quick to discard a blue something.
Yes, he did. He discarded it, and the rotary ram is on top of it. But he did a sit before that pummel even hit the ground. He was like, "There it is."
Oh, it was a snap discard.
I think as soon as he had that one float, and I think as soon as he took the tunic resource off, he was like, "Oh, there it is," and just did it before it even hit the ground. I see Oldham thinking about the 2 damage, or a third of his life total. So it's not insignificant.
At this point, yeah. That's 2 is a lot.
The best part about this late game Flesh and Blood, where it's literally it's pitch a card, attack with 5 turns ago would have just been nothing, right? 2 attack, sure, I'll take that in my sleep. Now it is a devastating, huge chunk of life that you are worried about taking here. And we see the Rampart and the Crown of Seeds essentially blocking 2, preventing 1, blocking 1. And we see the Plasma Purifier get loaded, and Elijah looked like he was moving to Arsenal.
Yeah, I don't know if
I think there was a little, hey, where'd that resource either go or come from? We see an ice defensive reaction coming from Oldham, putting the card that Elijah was going to Arsenal on top of his deck.
and
And we
following
see
it up. Go
yeah,
ahead, Pat.
he's got he's got the E strike coming in for 7.
7 big ones.
Now that is lethal, and he is presenting lethal here. So Dash has to put something in front of it. Skullcap is still offline. He's Dash is up by 1 in terms of life total. I believe the Foundry Heart still has 1 on it. The top of the TTS screen is blocking the dice a little bit. We do see a Fate Foreseen from Dash. That is a red, so 4 and an opt. Potentially 3 more coming through. Elijah's kind of looking at his hands a little bit. I wonder if he's got another one. And he does. That's the red sink below, choosing to sink a card. Well, he'll draw one, get back up to 2. That is a full block of the E strike, 2 defense reactions back to back. Elijah's up, pitches the blue, loading up the plasma purifier. And did he need to? He did pitch the blue, loaded up the steam counters on the plasma purifiers and the induction chamber. And that's the turn. He arsenals and draws.
So he's building up to a big turn.
Yep, and he did have a counter already on one of the plasma purifiers, so he did in fact he used the blue pitch to load up plasma purifier 1, the induction chamber, and the pistol. So we have at least 8 coming back at Oldham if he makes it out. We do see a Macho Grande. Is that another blue one, Adam?
That is another blue one.
Coming in for 8 dominate. And there's the Foundry Heart coming in. Well, maybe not. No. We've got a sink below. We see a pummel. So it looked like Macho Grande came in. He said no defense, go to reactions. Macho Grande pummel. Sink below comes in as the defense reaction.
Ooh.
The sink below sinks, and it looks like he found the blue, pitches the blue, and then comes in with the movable from Arsenal. Very slick. Still got 2 cards in hand. Coming in for at least 8. I would be shocked to see. I believe he should pitch and load that second induction chamber. That should give him, unless those are reds, I think he's got the ammo here to fire off for 12. We're likely going to see rotary ram. So before anything else, he's going to attack for, is that 3? And what color is that?
It's a
0,
red
60?
0, so that'd be 4 base.
4 base, plus 3, 7 boosted, go again. Yeah, coming in for 7 first. Not a bad way to lead it off.
Follow that up with pistol for 4.
Yeah. Doesn't have it to load it up again afterwards, so I think he can fire it off once. That's still 7 4s 11. Pretty good. Oldham's got to make some decisions here. He's had his armor the whole game.
Yeah, and you got to start to wonder if.
Yeah, what's he got? What's he waiting for? Is he? I imagine he'll wait till he'll throw. If he throws the armor in front of it, that he's got something he thinks is pretty spicy in his hand. Coming in for one shot of the pistol at 4 isn't if it's not gonna kill him, and he's got 7 Dash is at 7. He's still gonna do, Oldham still, it has to be a good one, or else he's still gonna just throw the cards at just throw the cards here and block. These are the late game decisions. It's one of those one of those things you learn in Flesh and Blood after perhaps getting your butt kicked over the first couple months of playing the game. But you look at your full hand, super late in the game, and you realize you go, if I was able to keep every single one of these cards, man, my turn would be great. But it is not possible to keep all my cards, so I have to figure out what keeps me alive, and how do I just hit back even a little bit on my opponent. He's doing a lot of thinking. He grabbed his armor for a little bit and then put it back. So I think he's got something. Maybe not super spicy. Maybe not like ghost pepper, but maybe some jalapeno pepper spicy. Just a
A
little
little bit of
middling.
habanero, maybe Scotch bonnet.
Yeah, just something. A few. What are they? Kelvins. What do they call it? The spicy meter there.
The Scovilles.
Scovilles, yeah. There's only, I think he's got something that's only maybe a couple thousand Scoville, not one of those like 4.6 million Scoville moves here. We see glacial footsteps and a crater fist blocking for 5, I believe.
Yep, that would be a block for 5.
And that's coming in for 7, potentially taking 2. Odds are Oldham's got a defense reaction. It is kind of his thing. We'll see what happens here. Wonder if he's contemplating. I wonder if he's got an earth card he's looking to pitch to prevent the remaining 2.
With the Oldham defense reaction. Nope, we
Nope,
see
he
Oldham
does
going to
not.
4.
He's going to take 2, and the pistol coming in for 2. No steam counters removed from the purifiers.
Saving those for a
So,
future turn.
yep, leaving them cocked and ready to fire in a more substantial turn here. But so pistol still coming in for 2. Half of Oldham's life total. We're getting down to it. Last game of the series, tied 2-2. Single digit life.
Down to the nitty gritty here.
We're at the 2-minute warning here. Not a lot of timeouts left in the game. Oldham takes the 2. Dash draws up. Oldham's got the 3-card hand. Channel Lake Frigid, not the worst thing in the world. And that's what he's got. Tunic is online. Card in arsenal. Draws up. He will have a 5-card hand to defend with. Zipper hit. Pitch. Boost.
Paying 2.
Add these mechanologist cards. Is that a yellow throttle and pitch? And is that a red
Yellow,
zipper hit?
Red zipper hit, yellow throttle. So
Thank you very much.
5 with go again.
Yep. 5 with go again, paying 2. The old surging strike.
Hey.
5 damage on the table. Tunic resource being used. To activate Crown, Arsenal goes under. Oldham draws the card. He's got 5 in hand. Channel Lake Frigid really doing some work.
Yeah, any go wide deck. Channel Lake Frigid is so crippling in.
And there's we see a red sink below plus the damage prevention, blocking 5. And a payload dominated because he boosted, pitching a blue as a red payload for, is that 6 dominate?
I believe that's 6 dominate.
New card from Everfest. Not quite intimately familiar with it. Yes, it is. 6 dominate. And there's the equipment for 1, 2, 3, a 5.
Currently blocking for 5.
Taking 1.
So Oldham with all the
All
answers here
right.
so far.
Yeah. Dash still able to leak that damage through though. Hold them at 1. 3-card hand. A Terra Sunder. Pitching a blue. Frosty Hammer. There's 2 ice cards in pitch. Channel Lake Frigid will live to see another day. Come at 5, dominate, on hit, discard, Frostbite. Not bad. Just a battle of pitch happy heroes. I don't think this one goes to fatigue easily here. I
And
think
on the
that'll
fatigue, yeah, you're
yeah,
right.
34 to 21. No, everyone's pitching and no one's playing stuff. Everyone the occasional boost, occasional Terra Thunder. Dash really has to think about what they're doing. If they can load up, if they can load the steam counters on, it puts Oldham in a super bad spot. I imagine Elijah's thinking about what has to happen here. And the channel stays online. The channel might be the saving grace here for Oldham so late in the game.
Because the channel even popping purifier or popping induction chamber costs 1 now. Oh,
Yes, that's true.
I don't believe the
Is it
attack reaction of induction chamber would, but anything else does. Loading costs 2 now.
getting into the corner cases here? Yeah, plasma purifiers in action. Yeah, loading the steam counters on. The attack reaction of removing the steam counter for the go again from induction chamber, I
Should not.
believe should not.
Mind you, no,
Yeah.
that would, because that's still an activated ability.
Is it still an activated ability?
I
All right.
believe it is.
Is there a judge in chat who can confirm? Does induction chamber cost money to activate as an attack reaction right now?
Give chat a second to weigh in. 5 dominate being threatened right now on the Winter's Whale.
Yep, 5
Threatening.
dominate on hit, discard 2, right? Is that the Terra Sunder?
Yep.
And Channel Lake Frigid guaranteed to stay on two ice cards in pitch right now. So Dash really in a tough spot has been fighting for every point of damage here, and it has been leaking through. But Dash is going to have an exceedingly hard time here trying to progress this end game. But it is, she's so close. She's so close to finishing this out. Elijah I think has done everything in his power to set himself up for a successful end game, and then Nathan through sheer determination is finding a way to survive and still not giving up that tempo, still swinging in for a large number with an on hit. And we see Elijah going over to the life counter, taking 5.
Discarding 2 cards, taking a
And there's that,
frostbite.
discarding 2 blue pitch and getting the frostbite. And a zipper hit, paying 3 for the zipper hit.
And
Coming
are we
in
boosting?
for 5.
Let me have a look here.
I
That's a yellow,
cannot
so that'll
tell
be
from
for
here. It's a
4.
yellow.
To answer your question, chat, yes, Oldham has, though not frequently, has
Once.
used. Is it just once?
We have seen one ice defense reaction forcing a card from hand to the top of the library, and that has been all the opportunity he's had. Though I have not seen a ton, a lot of ice cards, not a lot of earth cards. The occasional so tomorrow. So you know, the act of actually preventing damage through Oldham's ability, it generally hard to come by, as is the ice reaction aspect, a little more common to find. Um, but yeah, so it has only been activated once this game. So zipper hit coming in, and Oldham is at 1. Has to put cards down. Has to do something to stop this from coming through. He will not leave unscathed. There's the sink below.
Oh. We're still. Oh, right, because this is a yellow zipper hit, so that'll be a full block.
Yeah, I was about to look. Yep. So full block on the yellow zipper hit. That cost 3 because of the frost hammer and the Channel Lake Frigid coming being on the board.
Oh, does
And
he
an
have the pulse here?
Oakenhold.
No, no pulse to fuse.
Nope. No fused pulse. It was I believe it was crowned early in the game. He did have it out. He used it to fuse early and then arsenaled it. So I do believe it's in the deck. He's not quite at the second cycle yet. So Vanilla Oakenold coming in. And there's 2 cards in armor. Blocking 7. Channel Lake Frigid is gone.
I think
If
at this
Dash
point,
has the resources, this is a tough spot for Oldham to be in.
Nathan is in a lot of trouble here. Yep.
There's the
We see one
blue.
blue.
Likely loading up. There's the pistol. And yeah, so he'll take out the plasma purifier steam counters. Pistol's firing for 4. Still has 2 floating. He's got a card in hand. There's the steam counter from the pistol. Coming in for 4. Oldham does have the 5 card hand. Still has Ironhide. Ironhide, Crown of Seeds, Rampart still available. It is, so he can pitch a blue in block 4. There's the crown. It's 1.
Still 3 to cover here.
Oldham does have the 4-card hand. Getting down to it. Oldham at 1. Dash at 2. Dash attacking that 1 life with a 4-attack pistol. Has the ability to give it go again. He's got the resources. Elijah Calub from Galaxxi Gaming looking to close it out and put Galaxxi over the top here on West Coast, Best Coast. Nathan Fortin doing everything he can to weather the storm and take it home for the Canadians. And there's the Ironhide and the Rampart. That should take the other 2 resources. And there's that 4 block, 1 pitch. We did have the reaction from Dash from the induction chamber to give the pistol go again. See the pistol come back, breaking the combat chain. Steam counter on the pistol. 1 float, 1 in hand. Pistol attacking again, coming in for the induction chamber. The second induction chamber is loaded up. So has the ability to give it go again. Still has to pitch afterwards to load up the steam counter back on the pistol. We see 4 damage coming through. He's already used the crown, so it will take, unless he's got a defense reaction in hand, he'll likely take 2 cards out of hand to make this block. There's the Thunderquake and the Disable blocking for 6.
Interesting to throw the card instead of pitch it. Yeah, there we go.
Oh, yep, there we go. I believe that's now a 5 block.
That
2
is.
from Rampart. Hey, Clark Jansen in chat. Clark, thanks for joining us. He says cover first pistol with shield and a 3 block card. Second pistol with shield and boots. Third pistol with crown plus shield. That is sounds like the best scenario there. And that is all she wrote for Dash's turn. That card in hand goes to Arsenal. Does not fire off the induction chamber.
Ooh.
And we see a Frosty Hammer, and it's Fate Foreseen. It is blocked for 4.
That means Dash is cutting back on a 4-card hand now. I imagine that's going to be this is probably the turn where Elijah seals the deal here for Galaxxi Gaming.
Oh, it's not over until
It's not over till it's over. It's not over till it's over. You're right.
We do see a blue pitch, and Elijah using that pitch to load up both plasma purifiers and the Techno Plasma pistol. He's looking at another card in hand. There's another blue pitch. Loading up the induction chamber, we see the plasma purifiers removing their steam counters to be activated. There's still 2 floating, pistol firing for 4. A dash will present 12 damage total. Oldham does have the advantage of that rampart being able to be used multiple times for increasing value. There's the pitch to activate the crown, so he's got one floating. Damage prevention. Rampart can block for one, essentially. Two block. Still puts a card from hand. I think Oldham needs to have a I think he needs to have like a sink below or a fate foreseen in order to stay alive here. I can't afford to put two cards down. So we can block. He's going to put a card down here to wrap up this block, and that'll either be for 4 or 2. We can also pitch an earth card to prevent the 2, but he needs to lose a card from hand to stop lethal from pistol number 1. Nathan in a tough spot, needs the right cards at the right time here.
Thinking long and hard about his block right now.
Right, this is it. There is no tomorrow. There's no more team league for whichever team, actually for any team, but this is all she wrote here.
For the season, yeah, that's correct. Players playing for that relegation to Div 1.
Like we had mentioned, it's a super important. These are two of the top teams coming in, and there's I think is Winter's Grasp a 2
Winter's
block?
Grasp, it's a 3 block.
It's a 3 block, so we see 5 total block coming in. Dash, looking at his resources. Oh, see the Pulse of Eisenloft.
Prevent 2 damage and
pitched, I believe, is what's happening here. Oh, I hate that in TTS. I do that all the time. Go to put a dice on one of those freaking cards, and it shoots right up to hand. So we see the Pulse of Eisenloft being pitched to Oldham's ability as a defensive reaction, putting a card from Dash's hand to the top of the deck and preventing the next 2 damage coming through. Super important right now. And I believe what we're seeing is the little shortcut version of pistol number 2 for 4.
Yeah. These players have been going for almost an hour now, and I imagine there's some mental fatigue going on at this point. So shortcutting and trying to just get through it as carefully but quickly as possible.
And we see that is Rampart blocking a second time for 2 and preventing 2 damage with the defense reaction. So that is an effective 4 block. We see Elijah poking Oldham. seems like Nathan is. I think he's saying that the crown is still out there. The prevention from crown is still on the table because he did full block pistol number 1 after he activated the crown, but still blocked with the ram's head plus a card. And then ram's head plus defense reaction for the next one. And now we're saying the crown and the 1 block. Nope. Pitching for a blizzard. So the blizzard comes in as an instant. Is that okay? He presented the blizzard, forced Elijah to pitch to give it go again. Elijah coming in for the last time for 4. So this should be crown plus
Card from
card
hand.
if that has block value on it.
Or you pitch to
It does.
Rampart here.
It's 3. Yeah, okay. Rampart plus crown.
But now you're not able to do anything
Ooh.
on your turn, and Elijah's coming back
Nope.
with the 4-card hand again.
Yep.
This is a tough place for Nathan to be right now.
And Clark called that exactly in chat. He called that before it happened. Elijah counting how many things needs team counters. He needs 4 pitch to load everything up once. Pitch is a blue. Pitch is a red. 1, 2, 3, 4. Everything is loaded up.
Locked and loaded.
Purifiers come out. Pistol for 4. No crown here, so this is going to be tough. And we see a pitched for Ram's Head plus card for 4 block. We see the Blizzard, and he pitched into it. So that might be all she wrote here. Oldham's only got 1 card left in hand. I think he can only stop 1 more pistol.
Depends on what the last. Oh, and we see another blue here. Yeah, I think that's going to be it.
He can do this 1 more. And that's blocked. Go again. Load the pistol.
And that's going to be
and
1 over the top.
And fire it. And I believe that is GG's.
There we go.
That's it. And Elijah Calub from Galaxxi Gaming taking the game. A grind fest over Nathan Fortin from West Coast, Best Coast. Galaxxi Gaming winning the series and moving up to D1 in the next season of the competitive team league. West Coast, Best Coast. Putting in the work this season. A great showing by you guys. Unfortunately, for a hard-fought battle, do not advance.
Yeah, and a huge congratulations to Galaxxi Gaming. A hard-fought series, a hard-fought season. They played so well, and especially when things got tough for them too, they were able to come back and because they didn't get out to the early lead like some of the other teams this season. I think they took a loss within one of their first 2 rounds or one of the first 2 rounds of the season, and yeah, coming back to take it all, huge kudos to them.
And it's been tight all season between Galaxy Gaming, West Coast, Best Coast, and Steel Team Lotus. Everyone tied up, all the tiebreakers having to apply to set up the end of season rankings here. Just everyone, uh, the margin of error between these two teams are so slim. Like as soon as these guys, as soon as everyone matches up against one another, right? The talent level is so high that, and it just shows. There's on any, we're talking micro decisions and specific matchups that, this is what Flesh and Blood is. Getting down to those, to those nuances of each individual game, and that's where it has to go to when you're competing at this level. And you see that in every single one of these series. Like you said, all season long, it's been like this, and going right down to it. Uh, the series was at 2-2, and it went down to this, this battle, right? This is a microcosm of what the rest of the season has been like between these three teams, and that was definitely an exciting, albeit long game. But let's talk about that a little bit. We think Dash super early came in with plasma purifiers 1 and 2, and that really enabled that end game state there. How do you think Oldham had any what were Oldham's possible outs there at that point? Do you think the plasma purifiers coming in so early kind of sealed the deal then, or do you think you know, looking back at that game, what do you think Oldham could have possibly done at that point to try and get out of it?
Well, I mean, part of the problem is the moment you see those plasma purifiers come out, the moment you see the induction chamber, you know that they're playing to some sort of pistols uh,
Mm-hmm.
end game, and there's you can't fatigue at that point. So you have to put them in a position where they they're on the back foot, and I think that's what Nathan recognized and tried to do. And
Mm-hmm.
unfortunately, just control dash is good enough at blocking that it didn't
Mm-hmm.
matter.
Yeah, and it was definitely right a dash with the timely plays, not only those plasma purifiers, but the defensive reactions coming in timely manner, and just preventing some of the more impactful stuff from Oldham from coming through. And like we talked about, coming down to it, right? The last life points of the season. We're talking one life versus two life here, each player trying to get it. And you know what? Nathan really, he defended well, especially late. Defended well, still was able to get through. Had those late Terra Sunders, forcing cards out of Dashian, really doing everything that he could to get the victory for his side, but unfortunately unable to do so. But that does wrap up that game and the series for the competitive team league.
That brings us to the end of season 2 of the Flesh and Blood Team League. And a bittersweet conclusion. It's been, I for one am sad to see it end. I've had such a blast broadcasting these matches and bringing this content to all of you. And yeah,
What do you what do you think the odds are of being able to grab Nathan and see if you can bring him in here?
ooh, let me see quickly. You keep the crowd entertained.
All right, chat. This is my rendition of America the Beautiful. No, I'm just kidding. We will not start doing that. Season 3 of the Flesh and Blood Competitive Team League, still unknown at this time, but it will be coming up. They are talking about expanding the divisions, right? So we had 3 divisions this season: Division 1, 2, and 3. I believe the Hyperloops took the championship over on Division 1, taking it home against hometown TCG Ascent uh, in in a in a battle in that series as well. Um, Going into some of the other divisions here, Division 3 results. I believe the Clout Chasers and the Separatist Union were fighting it out in D3. And looking at the results here, we have the Clout Chasers. Here we go. That's 1. That's 2. That's 3. The Clout Chasers taking the series over the Separatist Union down at D3, which means they're moving up to Division 2, where West Coast Best Coast will be. So we're gonna Clout Chasers and West Coast Best Coast coexisting in the same area. I know they're expanding the divisions, so you're gonna see more teams, more games coming up. I know this season has generated a lot of interest. These streams have generated a lot of interest, not just for us, but for for the teams all over the league. And we do encourage you guys to everybody to check those streams out. If you have an idea, if you go to the competitive hub on Facebook and things of that nature, you can see a lot of those games being played out, and you can really pick up a lot about what's happening. The playoffs were played um, with the ban list in effect, right? The regular season was not. The ban list came down and then was was put into effect specifically for the playoffs. So those looking for a taste of a potential new meta, these playoff games definitely one way to inform those interested in that and how some of these decks would be built and played.
But I managed to get him for a quick interview here. We have Nathan Fortin from West Coast Best Coast. Nathan, an unfortunate loss for you, but a well fought match. How's it going, man?
Pretty good. Yeah, I've never played Dash with Oldham, but I knew it going in. I knew it's not a favorable matchup, that's for sure. But I
That
didn't I
was
didn't, didn't plan for Dash. I would have had more pummels and Rousey Ancients, but it is what it is.
how did you feel when the plasma purifier hit so early?
Yeah, with 2 items early, I that game actually ended up being a lot closer than I thought it was going to.
Mm-hmm. And
So
it looked like at coming towards the end there, it looks like you had a couple opportunities there. You had the Terra Sunder come through, and really to start stripping Dash of cards there. Tell me about those last few turns. It seemed like it was really tight, and it looked like you swung it back. You took the cards out of Elijah's hand, and it looked like you had a chance there.
yeah, that when I was able to go channel into Terra Sunder, Hammer keeping channel in play, I thought that may have been enough, but just
Mm,
life total, I wasn't able to keep a hand. All the cards are so expensive, and that's where Dash's advantage is. I swing Hammer doesn't really do anything because they just need 2 blue cards,
yeah.
and
Yep.
I needed I really needed the turn after that to just be. I needed a hand that I could swing with more than Hammer after I played that, and I just didn't get it. I needed to follow that up with like glacial
Mm-hmm.
with, or I just needed something that was not just a hammer, and couldn't find it.
That's all right. Well, you came up a little short here, but obviously you did fine work this season. You had 3-1 in the regular season. You ran Prism the whole time. Is Prism? You must be a Prism main. Are you going to New Jersey?
Yeah, yeah, I'll be at New Jersey. I'm still debating on running Prism or not. I really want to, but haven't play tested enough against Chain. So I'll
It
be
seems to be kind of the boogeyman, right? Chain. Can you can you beat Chain? Do you have the fatigue plan in place? Do you have something else
well.
in
That's
place there?
I need to figure out if fatigue is the way to go, or if there's an aggro, full aggro, or I think the
Mm-hmm.
strategy might be aggro, like defensive and aggro when possible. I think that's probably the way to go. I think if Chain gets too many of his Art of Wars. Like if he doesn't mill over or banish an Art of War, it can be tough. You kind of got to get lucky with some timings, right? If you can get ALS on like Shackle 3 or 4 with no time snap, or they don't have a lot of blue for their skippers, it can be, that can be really key.
Yep, that's for sure. Well, I won't keep you too long. Thank you for coming on here. Like I said, it's a great season. I've had a blast streaming your games and doing some play-by-play for you. And good luck in the Pro Tour.
Yeah, awesome. Yeah, the stream's been great. It's always nice to be able to go back and watch the matches and find your misplays, and also be able to watch your teammates play. So definitely allows you to get in the action. So I appreciate you guys putting on the stream every game you could.
Absolutely. All right, Adam.
Yeah, thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank
Thanks,
you,
Nathan.
Nathan.
See ya.
Well, I think that brings us to the end of Season 2 of the Flesh and Blood Team League. Thank you all so much for being a part of this, for catching all the action. You guys are the reason we do it. This has been so much to bring to all of you. We do have Season 3 to look forward to. We don't have a date on that yet, but the moment we hear anything, we will be sure to update you guys through Twitter. That's the primary way you can keep in touch with the chain, or sorry, I should say the channel and everything surrounding the Combat Chain and Flesh and Blood Team League. And that's through either at FABTL, at Pat Smashgood, or at the Combat Chain. But
and of course, you can
yes.
also help support the channel by subscribing and supporting us on our Patreon. We've just released a brand new tier on the Patreon to help us be. You yourself can become a founding link in the Combat Chain by supporting us on the Patreon, and by supporting us at that tier, you will get extended art Herald of Rebirth promos. One of each pitch for free, just for signing up for that. We have limited that tier to 15 total slots. It is filling up fast, so if you want your promos in a very straightforward way, and you want to help the channel grow, by all means, jump on and support us on the Patreon. Adam, we're gonna have to start coming up with some edited content again here on the video side. The streams have been nice to jump in there and just be. We're gonna have to fill the void here.
Yeah, I think so. But you know what? I'm going to be busy for Pro Tour here, and then after that, we're going to have lots of time to bring some fun content to you guys.
Absolutely. Right. It is May 7th. Pro Tour is 6 days away. The 13th, is that right?
Oh, coming up
Oh
fast.
man. Oh man. I don't even know what I'm gonna wear. What are you gonna wear? Are you when you do, not to keep the stream going too long, but when you go into like these things, are you like a sweats and like slippers mocks kind of guy? Do you look like you just never just woke up from bed and went down to the floor and you're just gonna play in your pajamas because it's comfortable all day? Or you like a Pat Chapin? You got like a suit and tie playing kind of guy?
I'm not a
Somewhere in
suit.
between.
I want to look good. You look good, you feel good type thing. But I'm not
Yeah,
gonna go over the top, no suit and tie or anything like that.
that's fair. That's fair.
Just my comfortable self and my
Mm-hmm.
doing my thing.
Fair enough. Fair enough. All right, I won't drag this out anymore.
Well, until next time. I'm Adam Pilipchuk. This is Pat Shaw, and we're closing
Closing the Combat Chain.
Thanks for listening, guys.